This is the Throttle Out Show presented by Vixen Industries, the only show where monster truck drivers and mechanics come together to present what's happening in the monster truck community. It's the ultimate combination of torque, horsepower, and trash talk. And now for your hosts. First, straight out of the heart of Detroit Rock City, it's Kid Rock's neighbor and former driver of the BKT ride truck. It's Austin Spence. And the duo deep in the heart of Texas, it's the show owner and daughter of a man who conquered the industry for over 20 years. It's Harley Johnson, along with everyone's favorite Bryce Kenny lookalike, Austin Tweedy. So go ahead, fuel up, strap in, and remember, when in doubt, throttle out.
Happy Monday to the best fans of motorsports. If this is your first time tuning into the Remember When in Doubt Throttle Out show, this is a channel where we talk about monster trucks. We talk about supercross. We even talk about NHRA drag racing just because we got a guy, we got a son of a bitch who is the rack specialist for Team Coletta. Y'all, we had a lot of shit happen this past weekend. Canadians took over monster trucks, and it was awesome. It was spectacular, as some might say. But right now, I got to get my co-host on here. You see the lovely Miss Harley Joe still out there on vacation. Just a little FYI for everybody else who's watching tonight. If you continually watch the show, you know what's going on in our lives. This might be the last time you see me in this studio. I ship out tomorrow to Minnesota. So, I'm going to take all this in tonight. And I'm also going to bring on the rack specialist from Team Coletta on right now. What's going on, Austin Spence? How you doing?
Oh, man, dude. It's honestly, today was one of those like Mondayest of Mondays. It's just I had no motivation, no drive. And then as soon as I get out of work and I'm in my car heading back home to be a part of Throttle Out, it's like I finally got the adrenaline pumping. I know Coop is kind of chomping at the bits. He had a very eventful weekend over the past couple of days. So really looking forward to talking about that. But honestly, man, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to end my Monday. I'm sure as much of you tuning in with us tonight to talk about monster trucks and just have some good old fun. And it's another night with just the boys. So let's get in some trouble.
No, I want to bring on somebody else. So everybody knows that Spence and I are really good at pissing people off on here. We take great pride in that. Then we found out this past weekend, we've been finding out over the course of a month's time now that we have another individual on our show who really pisses off people in an extremely different way. And I want to bring him on right now, ladies and gentlemen, the host of the Pit Report, Cooper Knuckles. What's going on, baby?
Howdy. Yeah, it's just it's a rare talent I have. It's just me being me, and people don't like it. And it's crazy. I don't get it, but I'm here. I ain't going nowhere.
You ain't going nowhere. That's right, damn it. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about tonight, and I'm going to give a big shout-out to everybody who's already tuning in and watching with us right now. I'd love every single damn one of you. Thank you so much for making the show what it is, just straight, raw talk. We don't sugarcoat anything. This is strictly for us who love motorsports, monster trucks especially. We want to know more about it. We want to know what's going on. We want to give our 2 cents. There's never really been a place to do just that. Yes, there have been other monster truck podcasts. We just like to do things a little differently around here. We're going to get started just real quickly. We don't have to go into great detail about it, but I do want to know what y'all think about this. So Supercross rolled in this past weekend to good old St. Louis for a Triple Crown event. What that is instead of where you do qualifying and you have heat races and then the last chance qualifier, then your main event, they just do qualifying and 3 straight races. That's all there is to it. They add up your points, and that's how they figure out your overall winner for your 250 East and your 450 class. This past weekend in the 450s, Marvin Muscane took the dub. And then in the 250 class, I think it was RJ Hampshire who basically came out of nowhere to finally put down Jet Lawrence, who's been having a hell of a season, is still in first place to my knowledge. But there were some things that happened. There were some crashes that happened that messed up some guys, and I want to know what y'all think about this. I'm going to put this up here right now. This comes straight from Brian Deegan's Instagram. If you can see this.
Bear trap?
If you can see what looks like Well, it looks
does
like a bear trap. No, this is a foot peg, y'all. And apparently, this foot peg you're seeing right here ripped wide open Dean Wilson's asshole. I mean, he took right where the good Lord originally split him, and he made it even further with this foot peg penetrating the asshole. I want to know, fellas, what can we do to make this, or what can the sport of Supercross AMA do to make this a little bit safer, to make it where guys aren't seriously getting hurt with foot pegs? We don't hear about this a lot. Is there anything that can be done about this?
Make it like a regular peg that you put on the back of your bicycle?
No, it's simple. I know exactly what we could use. There's already something out here we could use to fix this problem.
Which would be?
Butt plugs.
Okay. Okay. Butt plugs, that's option A. That's what we got going for us so far. AMA, if you're listening tonight, the Throttle Out suggests butt plugs as the answer to this.
So we just landed on it?
I don't actually remember exactly what happened here. I saw him wipe out. I didn't realize that's what had happened. And then Jet Wilson had crashed, and I think something similar happened to him. It actually like ripped open his race suit, and you could see his underwear. So
It's crazy.
now this
poor
is something
guy.
they're going to go back to the drawing board, try to reinvent the foot pegs on these machines. And I'm sure this has been a problem that's happened dozens, if not thousands of times before. But it got put on blast this past week, and apparently it hurt Dean Wilson really bad. So they're going to be going back to the drawing board, trying to figure this out. Supercross is rolling into Atlanta. They're getting the leftover fill dirt from this past weekend where Monster Jam rolled in, tore up the track. Looks like they had a lot of fun, and that's where Supercross will be. But the action didn't disappoint. It was weird you didn't see Eli Tomac get that 6th win. Now, he did win a race in the Triple Crown, but he was at that time, up until his best weekend, he had 5 wins in a row, which is awesome. He's currently, I believe, tied with Ricky Carmichael or Chad Reed, one of the two, for all-time wins in the 450 main event. So huge kudos to him and that team. They're obviously doing something right. That guy went from riding a Kawasaki last year. Everybody thought he was crazy for jumping to Team Yamaha. He's proven everybody wrong. Way up there in the points lead. And Supercross is awesome. Now, let's go to another show, y'all, that just happened. First of all, Spence, why does everything related to either Triple B or my father just happen to piss a bunch of people off? There were a lot of people who had something to say about this show right here.
I mean, it has nothing to do with the way, you're obviously, first of all, your brother and your old man are obviously naturals. Hold on. Did your brother beat the lobster? That's the main question. Was he able to take out?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It's not looking
I
like
will
it.
say, yeah, it doesn't look like it. It looks like Greg was ready to start, running circles around him. But honestly, if you're going for a pod setup, there's nobody that does a pod freestyle setup like Monster Jam does, and they have it down to a science. You can already see that a lot of the dirt is already compressing. It's not as compact as it should be. Not to mention, there's a lot of things that you guys may or may not know. When you go into the side of some of these obstacles, like there is stuff buried under the dirt to kind of help give it that rigid and support to help kind of pop the trucks up in the air a bit. Whether it's a log stack, some tires, you can see that there's a tire there in the background, but it's not. It's not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's mainly just poor track design is what really kind of did it for this course. I mean, it looks like the guys were going out, they're having some fun. But nothing really to kind of get some big air. Nothing to really, essentially it's just a little bit of air, maybe a wheelie, maybe a sky wheelie if you hit that racing lane the right way, and some donuts.
I think the other thing to mention is you're looking at this track. It is obviously slick as shit out there. I mean, it's like a mud show in an arena.
Oh, absolutely. And Michael Brester, yes, I see your comment. Yes, I agree. Pods are killing monster trucks. I agree. I'm just using Monster Jam as an example. You guys know for a fact I do not care for pod style setup tracks whatsoever. That's why we love and always support Toughest Monster Truck Tour, because when it comes to building an arena track with a small amount of space with a ton of action, Toughest Monster Truck Tour knows what's up and knows how to build a great track and put on an amazing show. I'm not taking anything away from, I believe that's X Tour, Monster X.
Yes.
I just think whoever was designing that track maybe just kind of fine-tune a couple things, change it up, make some changes, and maybe the next event will be a little bit better. So, speaking of which, I kind of want to talk about Monster X Tour for a bit. I've been trying to follow like their social media because I know Triple B has been, going to their shows and whatnot. I cannot find much on social media when it comes to when they have shows going on. So I don't know if there's like if somebody has a job on and that tour specifically to promote shows or when a show's coming along, because it's always like it's starting to fall into some of these other independent shows where it's like they're more worried about getting trucks and getting people to come in, getting competitors to come to these shows and having the track layout, but not promoting your show to get butts in those seats, because it doesn't look like there's a lot of people in that arena in attendance for that show, unfortunately.
Well, you are talking to somebody over here who is going to be doing a lot of shows for both Monster X and the Nitro Tour, and you're correct. I was looking at our schedule that we have at Triple B for our upcoming shows, because I was curious to see like what the venues were going to be like. I just want to see what ticket prices were as well, and there's a lot of stuff that's not even on their website. So I don't know what that's about. They just could be running a skeleton crew and some stuff just isn't posted right now. And, some shows that and I don't know if y'all have noticed this or not, but those shows, Monster X Nitro, they will have some shows that it's just freaking packed. They have sold every seat. It's standing room only. And then you've got other shows where there's not a lot of people there. So I don't know. I don't know what their algorithms are for working the interwebs and selling seats, but they do some shows really well, some other shows not. I don't know. I'm glad I'm not a monster truck promoter right now. I don't have all the answers. Let them deal with all that.
Well, speaking of, let's talk about something that you are kind of familiar with to transition to kind of the next subject. Tweety, out of the three of us here on the show tonight, you are a father. You have a beautiful little girl.
Yeah, that you'd know out of all three.
Yeah, well, Cooper. Okay.
I traveled a lot.
All right. Well, the more you know with Cooper Knuckles.
The Jerry Springer episode coming up.
Well, what I was going to say was, I heard a quote the other day. I think I heard it from my wife or my mom. I don't know who it was, but like kids in life are supposed to do three things: eat your food, break your heart, and spend your money. And I guess over this weekend there was a fourth option, and that's break your shit with Denver Echterenkamp, because he went out there with that brand new looking Venom truck and he wadded her up pretty damn good.
Oh, yeah.
This is the shock on the left front, kind of hanging off to the side. Everything was just in pieces. And I don't know if we have the picture here, but actually the shock absorber actually went up, and you could actually see it right there going
in the
up
cab.
Through the legs in the cab. So as you're sitting there, that is a shock bracket. The welds must have broke or something off the chassis. But he put on a great show. He got to the finals of racing for his debut event, and with a brand new body and everything. A couple of tweaks here and there, but I mean, I followed Denver on Snapchat and everything. They basically have this truck already fixed and ready to go for the next show. But so I just thought it was great. He goes out, obviously hammers down. He's not afraid of this truck whatsoever, and immediately breaks it. So whatever retirement fund Denver the second has, he can kind of kiss most of that goodbye this year. So if this is what's going to be following. But honestly, super proud of Denver. Really looking forward to the next show he's got with this truck. Hopefully it'll stay somewhat in one piece for the next one.
Well, I mean, it might stay in one piece. It looks like obviously the shock broke off at the actual shock towers, broke off at the welds. And as Jeremy Parsons is saying down in the comment section, I mean, it's time for another chassis over there. It's due. It's on its way. And hopefully they're going to be having that new piece rolling in for too much longer. They'll be out there kicking some ass and taking some names with the new piece. Now, for everybody watching tonight in the comment section, the always loyal Paige Johnson and Jeremy Parsons, Bobcat Designs. I know it's not actually Julie Cohen watching, but thanks for hanging out with us. Wayne Norbury Jr., glad you're hanging out with us tonight. Joey Maletti, Mike Hedman, what's up, baby? And was that Jason Becker? Did I see Jason Becker in here somewhere?
Jason Becker's here tonight. Yep, we also got Jeremy Hossman, Indy Monster, Mr. John Costin's here with us. About time. It's been a minute.
Now, let's go to, it's not a small show. It's an arena show up there in Des Moines.
Des Moines.
Des Moines?
Des Moines. That's actually how it's pronounced.
Yo.
Not really. But you were witnessing Tristan England winning racing. You are also witnessing my new favorite individual to get footage from when they send their stuff in. They make sure they tag their name, the name of the promoter, and the arena. For those of y'all who send us footage, and we're always humble, we're always grateful that you do that. Man, if you could pick up take a page out of this person's book, I love that they do this for us. They've already got their label on here, and it makes things so much quicker and easier for us. So huge shout out to, I believe it's Janet and Jason Bryant, I think, that sent us this footage. Thank you so much for doing this. And then here's our good buddy, Too Tall out there, kicking some ass. I heard that he won, I think, freestyle this past weekend as well.
Hey,
so shout out, David. On this show, y'all, it's hard not to be biased. You want to be able to give a fair enough report for everybody else out there. There's obviously some great competitors on that tour. Gosh damn it, I love me some Too Tall, man. Guy, whenever we worked with him at Monster Jam, I looked up to him as a crew chief, as a veteran in the sport, and now I'm looking up to him as a driver, a veteran. And if I'm half as good a driver as what that guy is, I will be completely content with my career in driving.
I see what you did there. There.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's actually not what I meant to do there.
I see what you did there.
I was laughing more at the looking up at him. I'm like, from where? Underneath the truck? Like, where?
No, he's laying on the dirt.
Yo, I was trying to give a compliment to Too Tall. Damn it.
He doesn't deserve it.
You're wrecking my life.
I'm just saying, Team Throttle Monster, you got a great driver. For whatever reason,
I gotta pee.
He's in arenas. Put him in stadiums. You guys might actually do better next year in the point standings. So,
hey, we will talk about the wild ride that Paul Jensen took this past weekend in a little bit at the Atlanta Motor Speedway show. However, I want to get back to talking about, finally for the first time in 2022 as a competitor anyways, we'll be discussing the world's youngest monster truck driver. And of course, I'm talking about Shane Plato, driver of the Skull Crusher monster truck. Had himself a weekend out there in Chico, California. Yay. Thank you, Lee Plato, for the footage that is sent in. You had sold out stands here at this track, and I love, Spence, I know you do too, the way they do intros at these shows. It is go and hammer down, and everybody hits the track, foot to the floor.
It is just mayhem.
Yo,
I believe Yeah, this is intros. This is just intros. I believe Becky was actually at this show. I don't know if she was driving, but I know she was there either renting or crewing.
Actually took a ride in that truck you see right there. Isn't that Rockstar? Isn't that the rock crawler?
Yeah, that's Rockstar.
Yeah, she took a ride in that. In this video right here, she is riding against her husband driving in the opposite lane, and Titan, who just barely edges him out. So there's.
Wait, is that one a two-seater?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a two-seater.
Oh gosh.
I believe the other truck, which is a California Kid, is the short wheelbase truck, Cooper, you'll probably see in another clip here. I believe that truck is also a two-seater. If not, I know one of the short wheelbase trucks from Straight Up Racing used to be a two-seater. They're wild trucks. I
kind of like the way this truck looks.
It's awesome. I love what
this right here is awesome, y'all. This is a freaking souped up golf cart with a jet engine in it. It's like a mini Batmobile. Watch this shit.
That's nope. Should
now
be illegal.
Imagine if you would have accidentally hit that ramp there.
Is that SpongeBob?
Exactly. Is this SpongeBob?
No.
Did anybody
SpongeBob
just see
has the Patty
SpongeBob?
Mobile.
Anybody see? There's SpongeBob. SpongeBob is on the track.
Oh, SpongeBob! Go back to the ocean. He's just going.
SpongeBob has come out of retirement. And enter the world's youngest monster truck driver in Shane Plato. 14 years old, out here trying to keep up with all these big dogs out here on the West Coast.
Is this a regular truck or is it like a mini?
No, this is a regular truck, dude.
Sorry, it just looked mini. Like one of the deals. Until it gets closer, I'll be able to tell.
Yeah, no, he freaking sends it right here, though. Good air right there, Shane. Way to get out there. And then trying to keep up with everybody else. He's going to go out, try to hit him a stoppie off of the pod, and this is a weird way to roll over.
Whoa. Oh, he had it.
He did.
He
He had it. A huge shout out to Shane for going out there, 14 years old, out there winning races against some really good drivers out on the West Coast.
Yeah.
He is going to be an awesome driver. By the time he becomes an adult even, he will be an awesome driver. Probably a future star at Monster Jam at the rate he keeps going. I know they're all pumped up. They got a new crew guy working for him. I'm sorry I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He used to work up with Team Scream for a little bit. Now he's wrenching with them out there on the West Coast. And as Lee has said this past week, it's a good thing he owns a body shop and they were able to get to work on that truck because it was looking like a hammered pile of dog shit by the end of the weekend. So that's what happened out there on the West Coast. Now, we were talking about how the Canadians took over this past weekend. Canada was out. Look at this. Look at me. Where
are you going?
Whoa! All right.
This is what happens when we give Tweety the controls for the night.
Too much power.
Now, we talked about how Canada took over this past weekend up there in I think it's the province of Montreal up there. I guess you would go to straight up
Was
Minnesota.
there actually a show in Canada?
Yeah, there really was. It's called the Monster Spectacular. I have no idea where this footage came from, but we appreciate you for putting it out there on the interwebs for us to rip off. Now, you look at this track right here. It's supposed to be Chicago style. It's really more like they're racing a big freaking rectangle right here. These corners are very sharp. Jimmy Cretin, Bounty Hunter, Austin Minton, Jekyll and Hyde. Big-ass stadium floor.
Here's what I love most about this. If you guys look to the far right of the screen, there is a camper. Tell me, when was the last time you saw A, this many crush cars, and B, a freaking camper at a monster truck show, especially in a stadium? I mean, this has got some old Monster Jam vibes here, and I freaking love this. I think Elliot said it best. This is, if you are a diehard monster truck fan,
there he goes.
The Monster Spectacular. Oh, yes. Sorry, couldn't help myself. This is one of these shows that you have to attend. Like, mark it as a bucket list. Like, this is like a big caliber show, and these guys just go all out. I mean, I think there's only one American team, and that is actually Too Extreme. I believe they had 4 trucks there actually this weekend. I believe it was Jimmy Cretin, Don Cretin, Austin Minton, and our boy Brister was driving at this show in Hot Tamale.
I wish I had some footage from Brister from the show, but I really couldn't find anywhere. I'm sorry, Brister. I love you, man. I was wanting to see you tear it up on the floor, but I didn't get anything from you. I was putting all the stuff together. Now, there was something else that happened from that event. We were talking about making Canada proud. Former Monster Jam driver made her return this past weekend in Montreal. Y'all know her as Amy Houde, driver of the Zombie Monster Jam truck, driving another piece this past weekend and attempted a backflip. Here's the video footage of. Once again, we have no idea where this footage came from.
Oh, Canada. Damn.
Now, it looks like when you land on the nose like this coupe, that it looks extremely soft, right? But you and I, Spence, you know as well, that is not a soft landing and not good on a truck.
No, shock tower's done.
Yeah. Is it just me, or is that dumpster look short? Like, I feel like the backflip ramps we have here are a bit taller than this. Unless it's
even if it is short, she just didn't hit it with enough
oomph. Yeah.
I mean, it does look like the ass end of that truck really dives into the ground, too.
Does it scrape?
Look at it.
Oh, yeah. It dug all the way up into the container. I see it.
Nonetheless, give credit where it's due. That looked like a good show, and there were asses in seats. Money was made. Memories were made as well at that show, and I'm really excited to see that Too Extreme made it all the way up there. They took a break from their own shows to go up there and help put on a show, and it looks like it was a huge success. So shout out to Team Too Extreme. And then is that Perry Como's truck that's in that show? Is that who that is? I think that's
Cooper,
where I got.
You should know.
Wait, what?
That's where I got one of those videos from.
Perry Como. That's hard to say. I honestly don't know. To be honest, when it comes to Canada trucks, Kevin Lusbin, I think that's how he pronounced his last name, with Bucking Bronco and Wadded Up. That's the only guy I truly know. other than Cam McQueen and that lady driving the American Peterbilt in Monster Jam. Those are the only Canadians I know of that drive monster trucks.
Oh, hey, you know something? I think we should talk about that right now. Or shoot, no, I'll tell you what. Let's save that for last because I want Cooper to really go into the details of the.
It was a good show.
Yeah, it sounds like it was a good show. But I tell you what,
was
let's go
a lot to talk
over
about.
Atlanta because this is another big show that Spence, you and I were talking about. First of all, this track is massive. I mean, extremely long. They have enough room to have straight line drags and set up their Monster Jam pod in the middle with other obstacles around there. This was a big track. Spence, you and I both thought that they really didn't do that great of a job, I guess, promoting the show. Now, I didn't look at the seats that were filled. I don't know if there were a lot of people there or not because, like I said, I wasn't able to actually see all that. But I'm just saying, this is one of your bigger stadium shows of the year. I feel like they could have hyped it up a little bit more. Looks like the shows didn't disappoint, though.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. The show looks like it was action-packed the entire time. Everybody that was there must have had a great time, especially our boy, Wayne with Avengers Racing. That guy. There's not a single video that you can watch with Wayne where he's not screaming at the top of his lungs, which we
how
love
we made that
you,
save?
Wayne.
Hoonigan's wrong.
Cooper.
Sorry, continue.
Coop. Shut up, Coop. Anyway, but yeah, so
Hey,
I
out this
love
crash. Check out this crash. Check it out. Check it out. What is going on?
What are you doing?
What was that?
Wait a minute.
All right.
So-
You want to watch that again? You want to watch that again?
No, I'd like to. So is it straight line? So is that after the
Yes.
finish
Yes.
line?
Yes.
Okay, and he's just trying to save it. Why not just let off the gas? I mean, that's just
They don't understand that half the time.
This is Cooper Knuckles' favorite driver right now on the MT circuit.
Oh, Corey?
Yeah, Corey's the greatest. He's the GOAT.
Well, let me tell you about Corey.
We don't need to know your opinion of Corey.
When it comes
We don't need mute him now.
after
You
show
have the
celebrations, he is the
Power.
guy.
You have the power. Okay.
No, I know. He is the guy to go hang out with and drink with. I'm going to go down to Detroit this summer and hang out with him. And then give him shit about not putting the right mag in.
Now,
I love the reverse stuff, but
before
I'd like
we get
to
wrapped
touch
up in
on
the
this
rest,
a little bit.
Yeah, before we get wrapped up in the rest of the conversation, though, definitely shout out to Corey Rummel for winning both freestyle events from this past week, and that it's huge when an independent wins anything at a Monster Jam show. He won freestyle both nights, and I believe overall as well. Guys on another level. Obviously, he doesn't get enough credit for what he does for Team Scream, or isn't that right? It's Team Scream.
Team Scream.
Does not get enough credit. Now, Spence, we were talking. One of the bigger stadium shows out there. Don't feel like they did a very good job of promoting the show just because we didn't hear about it a lot. That doesn't mean it wasn't posted all over Facebook in the Atlanta and surrounding areas.
No, I was going to say that.
Were you?
No, you continue. I was disagreeing with you.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks for interrupting my thought over there. By the way, since my thoughts have already been interrupted, I will say huge shout out Joe Sylvester High Octane Coffee. We saw the clips of your accident this past week, and we're glad that everybody is okay. And we hope that you're able to recover from all that, get all your equipment back better than what it was whenever you got it. I understand it was brand new stuff, but my man, you spend a lot of your life busting your ass to have nice things. Sometimes shit happens. Sometimes shit rolls uphill. We all go through it, but I believe you and your fam will be back to receiving your blessings, and we are thinking about you, Joe. Now, back to the discussion over here. Don't feel like Monster Jam did a great job of promoting the show this past weekend, and maybe the turnout was good. I don't know. I wasn't there. I just saw the quick highlights, and shout out Avengers Racing. But Spence, your thoughts on all that?
So here's the thing. As most of us know, when it comes to like historic tracks with the Monster Jam circuit, a lot of us that are diehard Monster Truck fans, miss like Hagerstown and West Lebanon Motor Speedway because that's like some of the early days of Monster Jam when it took off. But with the caliber shows that Monster Jam was able to put on, it's kind of refreshing and almost nostalgic seeing that Monster Jam has gone to from a backwoods kind of hometown dirt track or asphalt track, whichever. I've never been to either of the speedways before, to going to a NASCAR level super speedway to put on that massive of an event is absolutely insane. So it's really cool to see that we're at that time period to where we're able to put on those type of shows in homage to where it started. However, why it seems like this show, it wasn't nearly promoted as much as it should have been. Last year when this show was announced that Monster Jam was coming to a NASCAR track, and then they did the whole promotion with a Gravedigger NASCAR, and it was just kind of like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, like Monster Jam's going over to super speedways, we're going to have bigger tracks, it's going to be more outdoor stuff, this is going to be awesome. And then come to this year, where it's like the second year for this event, and we didn't really hear much about it. I mean, the show looked like fun. I don't know how it was for the crew guys. I see there's some people in the comments saying that it was hell for some of the crew guys, which we feel for you guys. I don't know if it was water or just how hot it was. I know Atlanta sucks sometimes. But it's just, whoever's in charge, I don't know if it's marketing, I don't know if it's advertising, I don't know. That's a desk jockey's job. But someone's clearly not doing their job, because I get it. You want to promote World Finals. You want to promote the big, championship event of the year. But having that big of a track, having that big of a caliber of an event, you need to bring something like that to the forefront. You need to promote that more. There are more asses you could put in those seats than some of the arenas. I would argue that that's essentially like almost 3 arenas worth of seating that you can fit for that specific event.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, you need to promote it more. You need to amp it up more, and get rid of the damn yellow and gray.
I mean, not to mention that you are in the heart of like what we would consider, monster truck fan country or redneck country down there in Georgia. I mean, you're going to sell tickets. All you gotta do is just get word of, and maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe they just thought we'll do a little bit of advertisement. They will come. Maybe we can save some money on advertisement, but clearly they need to amp that up a little bit more. I like the idea of having a World Finals there. That's actually something that I'm definitely for, but you got to do a better job of promoting your shows there. What's up, Coop?
All right, I'm going to be devil's advocate here for a minute.
Okay.
So, how you were saying they should have promoted it more. I'm going to just bet, because this is how it was on my phone, because I went to Indy, right?
Yo.
The week going into Indy, I kept, like, every time I was on Facebook, it would show, there's a show in Indy, close to you, buy tickets now. I think since it was first quarter, they really only target people close, like in Atlanta, or in the specific places. So that's probably why, since you're in Michigan, and then I'm in Illinois, I didn't see one thing for it. You didn't see one thing for it, but I'm sure everywhere in Atlanta, radio stations, the displays, they all got it, because that's normally what they do. And it's just like whenever we went there the first time, it's just because it was no tour. We were going there. Like, this is the one thing that's happening. So, obviously, that'll get promoted more. So, I can see where you're coming from, though. So, for one person who travels all over, like Avengers Racing, the only way they would have to know is because they keep up with the website. For those who like to go to the shows but only rely on seeing it on Facebook and all that, it didn't work out for them this time. So, I can kind of see where you're getting at, but in a way of, it's first quarter. There's 5 other tours going on. I can see why would they promote Indy to people in Atlanta, and Atlanta to me while I'm going to Indy.
I'm with you on there though. I am. It's just at the same time, because I totally understand where you're coming from. At the same time, if I were to have arguably the biggest, I wouldn't even say arguably, Atlanta would be the biggest stop on the tour as far as seating capacity, floor space, all that. I would want to amp that up just a little bit more. I would want to amp that up. I would want to give that show so much praise, so much hype, the biggest track, the best competitors, whatever. So I could at some point maybe promote a World Finals event there. So I could have some big show, televised event there, live event, have you. So I think that's kind of where Spence and I are coming from. And you know, we're going to finally understand and get their algorithms, understand why they do the things they do one of these days, I'm sure. But nonetheless.
Did it rain there at all?
That I don't know, because it definitely did there last year, right? You were there.
Oh yeah, that was
awful.
Fest.
We had 5 shows.
Now, something that we are ignoring with this event right here. Ryan Anderson, son of a digger, powered by Hoonigan. won
Boo.
his
Won
tour,
against
and I do
Gerard.
think that definitely deserves a huge round of applause. Ryan Anderson, son of a digger.
Let's go! Hooligan strong.
I mean, going into this season, we thought there's no way Ryan walks out of there not the champ, and Harley obviously did right by picking him for her fantasy team. So congratulations to all y'all who are big Son of a Digger fans, and congratulations to both Ryan and his crew chief, first-year crew guy, and they deserve all the praise, all the glory for working so damn hard. And then we've got another Anderson to congratulate as well in his first ever year of MJ competition. Weston Teeny Man Anderson. Round of applause for Teeny Man in the GD winning his arena championship. What is it? Is it East? Is that the tour? Is it the East Tour? East Coast? Is that right?
I thought it was West.
No, it's not West. It's definitely the East Coast Tour. Spence, it's his first year out on tour. Brad Hilson as his crew chief. I mean, I wouldn't have picked this guy. I said it going into this year that Weston Anderson would not win his tour. Clearly, he's proved myself wrong as well as a lot of others. He looks very comfortable behind the wheel of the grave digger in arenas on the East Coast. Your 2 cents, the Spence.
Welcome to the part of the show where I'm going to piss off a lot of Gravedigger fans.
Oh, shit.
Is he a good driver? Absolutely. He's been driving Bog Hog. You know, he's been doing a lot of stuff, you know, at the compound, growing up with Adam and Ryan. Obviously, monster trucking is in Teeny Man's blood, for sure. He did definitely impress us with some of the things he did on the tour. I think the name is what got him the championship. I think the name Gravedigger is what did it. If you were to, and I'm just saying, I'm not bashing on any Anderson. They're all great drivers. I love what they're all capable of doing. But look at Ryan and Adam and where they're at. When they first started in Monster Jam, did either of those two start out in a Gravedigger? No.
Nah.
They did not.
Negative.
You had Adam and Taz. And then you had Ryan. I want to say he started in I want to say it was like Spitfire or some other kind of weird truck back in the day. Before they both, you know, Adam eventually got in Gravedigger the Legend, and then eventually now he's driving Gravedigger, you know, replacing Dennis. But there was a build up to getting in Gravedigger to represent the name, not just being an Anderson. Kristen and Weston both got thrown into a Gravedigger out the get-go. We saw the amount of pressure Kristen had when, you know, the whole COVID schedule happened, and we saw Gravedigger in a stadium setting at the bottom of the points. I'm not saying the same thing would happen to Weston. It's just I feel like a lot of the points and the way Monster Jam does their point standings, I would still put my boy Cody Saucier above where Weston is. But because Weston is driving Gravedigger, that's how he managed to get a lot of points. But when it comes, you know, who's a better driver, better racer, you know, whatever, I mean, I wouldn't say he's at that caliber yet. And also, I'm pretty sure his schedule was the one that was very flip-floppy. There was a lot of drivers going here, going over there, so there wasn't really a set amount of trucks for the entire season on that schedule. So you only had to compete against, 4 trucks the entire time, and they're all company drivers? Gravedigger's going to win every single time. So, congrats on your first championship.
Your retaliation to all that.
I mean, maybe he just outdrove everybody. From what I've seen on highlight videos and Instagram videos, he was the one truck that had the most highlights out of that whole tour. And
because it's
right
a flagship
there, I know
truck,
the name.
and
The
it's
name
Monster
gives him
Jam.
extra 3 points always. That truck will
Red
always
highlights
give you an
and
extra
other
3
things.
points.
Yep.
But it also, if you can drive and you have that 3 points, you're destined for victory. Always, I will not disagree with you on the the name, but I think he really came out of nowhere. Okay, he didn't, but he came out of nowhere and surprised a lot of people, and well-deserved win in my eyes. I think he just outdrove everybody, and I mean, and you do. How close were the points at all? Were they close or?
Probably not. They probably had to tell a lot, because here's the thing, and we've seen this before. If anybody that is not an Anderson or Mintz causes any kind of like damage, because Brister made a good point. It also doesn't count when Cody Saucier is under the gun by the higher ups. Yes, I have seen that firsthand, because I remember when I used to work for the company, he was in Stadium Series Yellow or something, and he hit a container, and he was pulled out of his truck. His two-wheel? I don't know if it was two-wheel or freestyle. I remember he hit a container, and he got yelled at. And so they put, what's his name? Stevie Sims Jr. in his truck at the following show. Completely wadded the truck up. Yeah, Sims Jr. completely wadded his truck up. I know Jeff Sim was pissed. Because, it takes a good driver to understand what you can and can't do in a truck. But anyway, yes, seeing Cody Saucier, he is a great driver. He has potential, without a doubt. If he did not have the leash that he does, as tight as it probably is, because the higher-ups are always looking down at him, I'd say Cody Saucier would walk all over Weston Anderson.
Now, if I may just for a moment be the mediator between you two over here. You have Spence saying Weston most likely does not deserve the ship. He gets a lot of the fan judging. We've got people in the comments who agree with that. You have Coop over here saying he does deserve the ship. And from what I will say to agree with Coop is and disagree with Spence is that, yes, you're right. Ryan was driving Spider-Man, Adam was driving Taz. They weren't in a Gravedigger. However, neither one of those guys in their first year of driving was doing gosh damn reverse backflips in arenas, crying out loud. Now,
oh, come on, that was luck. That's not even skill. That was luck. Come on,
I'm just saying, guy puts to the floor, remember when in doubt, throttle out. I appreciate that. So now also, it is really hard to disagree with the Spence and the way that fan judging is set up. It is extremely. It's a very fine line to walk that Monster Jam hasn't figured out yet. They haven't figured out this point system and how legit it really is. You assume every year an Anderson's going to walk out with a trophy. Why? Their name helps. They have the green light to drive as hard as they want to. While other drivers are being told, hey, you're going to have to tone it down a little bit. You can't be driving that hard. But it's okay for the Andersons and for Tom to drive that hard. So, there's that.
I want to make a bet. You know what? Since both Andersons are locked into the World Finals, we all know this. Both of them, Weston, Teeny Man, and Ryan, are both locked in for the World Finals. I'm going to make a bet. Weston Anderson does not get out of round one of racing at the World Finals.
Oh, that is
I'm going to agree with you there.
Whoa. Shots are being fired.
He's going to get hit. He's going to get hit with the beginner's curse from what I've seen on the Max E side. Anyone from Paxton that went to World Finals. Okay, besides Tom, obviously. Like with Colton, his first World Finals. It was good, but his freestyle was ended very fast when he was in a digger. And then also in the Gold Max D. It went well until the tire broke. I could see the same luck happening to Weston. But also, you never know. He could come out and win the whole thing. Could you imagine?
Before I give you my 2 cents, I would like to give a nice little shout out to Anthony Twan Maynard and Steve Lashinsky. What up, fellas? Hope y'all are having a fantastic season. Twan, you're doing a great job keeping the piece together for Tyler Meninga, letting that guy go out there and launch that son of a bitch every show. And Steve Lashinsky, you're looking just as good as you ever have, my guy. Stay clean cut as you are right now. I'm enjoying the setup. What up, Coop?
He's a future. I'm calling it. He's crew chief of the year this year.
Okay. All right. We got a vote. We have a vote for crew chief of the year. Steve Lashinsky, Team Max T. I'm going to say this now. Talk about my predictions for Weston. He's obviously going to World Finals. He's won his tour. I am not betting against the kid anymore this year. He's done enough damage against me and my fantasy team. He's proven me wrong. I think Weston Anderson will not get the curse stuck to him this year and that he will do just fine at World Finals.
Yo, have you ever seen his interviews?
No.
Weston is cocky.
He's cocky?
Cocky as shit. Like, I think it's funny. After we talked about how we need heels in the Monster Jam, when I was talking to Scott Jordan and they were doing an interview, they were like, "Oh, how do you feel, like driving this year?" Or I'm gonna butcher whatever he said because I'm trying to remember. But Weston's like, "Oh, I'm having the best year out of everyone right now. I'm just the best driver." And then he's like, "Oh, well, how do you feel with going against your brothers?" He's like, "I'll beat them all.
Hell yeah.
Whoop my dad's butt, whoop my brother's butt, whoop my sister's butt." And I'm just like,
You know what?
This is perfect.
You know what? He can run over every single Anderson there is. Weston can. But you know what? There's one Gravedigger driver I'm willing to bet will smoke Teeny Man, and that's Tyler Meninga. That man knows how to wheel that truck.
All right, hey.
I'd put Meninga over Weston, just saying.
Real fast. We're going to get this straightened up right now. Miniga.
Miniga.
Yeah, Meninga.
Tyler Miniga.
Meniga.
Tyler Miniga.
Okay.
Meniga.
Okay.
For sure.
There you go.
Why? Why? Are we,
It's
are we
not
like on
Meninga.
the border of something?
No, it's just not Meninga.
We're under the gun right now, Spence. We got to be better. We got to
No,
be
it's
better
just
than that.
like, it's always bothered me. It's one of those like ADHD deals. It's like, he didn't say it right.
Wait, so you're saying every time I pronounce it wrong, it drives you nuts?
No.
Like it does something to you? Like,
No,
at
it
all?
doesn't,
Like,
though.
Does it still?
No.
Is it like nails on a chalkboard
No.
kind of
I
thing?
like that noise.
Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna keep saying Meninga, and we're gonna move forward. Anyway,
Anyway, I think we're wrapping up the Atlanta discussion. We are obviously congratulating the Andersons on their victories. They're headed to Monster Jam World Finals. What is it, 21 down there? I think it's the last year in Orlando, Camping World Stadium. So shout out to the Andersons, and they are the only two competitors right now lined up for the World Finals. Now let's get back. Let's talk about the last stadium and our special boots on the ground personnel, Cooper Nux. I'm going to let this video footage play while you talk a little bit. Now, I'm not going to have all the highlights that you want from the show or what you're envisioning
fine.
right now. My goodness, who is opening a freaking wrapper right now next to the gosh damn mic? That is going to have to stop.
it's not I had to grab something, Tweety.
Okay. Oh, that sounds so much better. Okay.
It's root beer.
All right. That's
It's root
good.
beer.
All right. Explain this.
First off, this dude, right when I started recording, he did a nature blow.
Oh.
He nature
what?
blow in the stadium, and I missed it. It was crazy.
What the hell's a nature blow?
Here we
you
go.
never had a nature or farmer's blow? Nature's blow, farmer's blow. Whenever you have to blow your nose, but you just do it with no Kleenex.
Oh,
Coop,
that.
you got to talk about how wicked fast Adam Anderson was this past weekend.
Yo, he was fast. Not gonna lie, I thought Saigon was gonna win it with that new chassis, but Adam was fast. He's just nobody could keep up. And then you got Bryce here. I drove 2 hours to watch him beat Tom. And I'm like, bro, what happened? No, Bryce had a good night at some points. So, other than, this little
Not
boggle
there.
there, that hurt him. No, it hurt him there. I was cheering from my seat. I was rooting for him. He needed it, but
Gears versus
came out on
nachos.
top.
I guess
Gears versus
the gears one. I don't know.
The Gears won. Oh yeah, then you got this sad.
R.I.P.
Dang, you hate to see it. And Adam did the same bounce, but didn't fall over or roll over, whatever the word is.
Didn't tump over.
Is this from Saturday? Yeah, it had to be. Yeah, it
It's
was
mixed
Saturday.
footage. It's mixed footage.
Yeah. Well, you got Tom here. Yeah, that whole back frame. I don't know if you can. Oh, you cut it out before. The whole back frame was awful. I don't know what she was doing. What? Then you got Todd here doing the same.
Oh no!
He thought he could just copy Tom. That's really what it was.
All right, our special pit reporter, our boots on the ground personnel, Cooper Knuckles. You were at the Saturday show. Tell us everything that you learned while you were over there.
I learned a lot, actually. So, first off, it was actually
us.
one of the best shows that I've seen in a long time.
Okay.
Monster Jam. And it actually, like what I said earlier, like they listened to our podcast, how we need heels, we need emotion and all that. And there was a lot of emotion. So, we got intros, as you all saw. Jamie's motor went out. And in my mind, There's no way they're changing the motor just because they're pretty low on motors. And the next thing you know, hey, they're doing it. I'm like, oh, okay. We got that to look forward to if they even make it. That was the thing, because I was like, oh, it's an independent. Nobody's going to help. But once again, I was wrong. Everyone helped, which is awesome to see. So we had that going on. So that was going on in the background. Then just the rest of the show was going on. Just a lot of people were, like with racing, Adam just had a good pass. Then we had an update. Everything was meh until freestyle. As I see emotion, we had Bryce Kinney. He did his freestyle, and they kept the camera on him longer than usual.
Okay.
Because when he got his score, he wasn't happy about it.
Oh.
And he showed his emotion towards the crowd. Just starts smacking the truck and just looking at him like, what are y'all doing?
No, but that's awesome. That's
and I'm just sitting here like, yeah, that is
raw emotion that we need, that the fans need to see. It's not always thumbs up and smiles all the way around.
No.
I like it. I mean, I'm sorry to hear about that, Bryce, but
yeah, no, 100% heart goes out to Bryce. Oh, you know what I left out in the beginning? The pre-show interview. They had Tom, Todd LeDuc, and Adam all in the booth, and they were smack talking to each other.
Oh,
they were like, oh. They asked Todd, like, so what is your game plan going against Tom since he has this big lead? And they called Tom out, like, we don't have to do nothing because once he's in his head, it all goes downhill.
Oh!
And then Tom got the mic. Oh, what did Tom do? He had a good comeback. Shoot. He said something that was actually, it was pretty snappy. It was pretty funny. And it was basically like, oh, well, you keep saying that, but you're way down there in points. Like, you're never going to catch up. So there was that. There was smack talk in there. It was really funny. So then you go back to the emotion. Bryce didn't get the job done. Then you had Tom. It was his turn for freestyle. Sadly, a wire broke. 60 seconds into his freestyle. Oh. It was I want to say it was an RI wire. So, like, the truck would spin over, but it wouldn't fire.
Yeah.
And again, they kept the camera on him. And when they gave him that red light, fumes, as any driver would.
Yeah.
He starts punching the roof. And then you just see him throw the steering wheel out the truck. He's mad.
I love it.
You're going to have that.
I love it. I love letting the drivers really get out how they really feel and actually show something that you don't get to see a lot, because I mean we all know that's why we're talking about it. They don't do that. You never see that in Monster Jam.
So you had that. Then Cynthia, she went out there, and honestly, you could tell there was a lot of pressure on her shoulders that night. Lucas Oil Truck. What'd you say?
I said she lost a rigged event.
Oh my gosh.
It actually wasn't, though. Like, it was fair judging, to be honest. I expected it.
Was it?
No, I expected it, but it was pretty fair. She didn't get second place or third place. She was pretty far down there because she had not the best freestyle because it was cut short, sadly. She lost all the Lucas Oil out of the Ram in the Lucas Oil truck. It was sad to see. Also had chassis damage. There's nothing she could really do there. She actually came back and did a really great freestyle on Sunday. But it kind of sucked a little bit. She had all this pressure on her shoulders. I think she got it out in the first night. And by Sunday, she really let loose. Proved herself. Or proved everyone, like, oh, hey, I'm here to drive. To where I could see her actually getting pretty far in the World Finals coming up. Honestly, my bet would she'd be at least top 3 in the finals of freestyle.
Now we'll get back to everything you're going to talk about in a second, but I was just going to say, as far as the pressure on Cynthia, I mean, you're talking about somebody who got a huge promotion this year, and getting first of all, one of the greatest looking trucks out in all of monster trucks right now, in the semi truck. I mean, it's just looks so freaking nice. And
with the new horn,
with the new horn, the new horn actually sounds pretty badass. But you know, I mean, she went from driving Monster Mutt to this. I mean, that's a huge step, and so I could just see being right there in the backyard, in the home of Lucas Oil. Yeah, she had a lot on her plate this past weekend, and I'm glad to hear she had. I actually didn't see what she was actually capable of on Sunday, but I was, saw what she did on Saturday.
Oh, it was 100% made up for what happened on Saturday. She
Good.
even stayed. She stayed when all the other drivers went out to go eat. She stayed probably till midnight, like most of them, because there was chassis damage. She stayed and helped fix that truck. From what she posted on her Instagram, she was welding. She was actually working on the shit.
Hey, hats off.
That was pretty cool.
Need more of that.
So
I approve.
Yeah, no, it was 100% like, oh my God, this is perfect. So then you just still got more to the story of the show with Jamie Gardner because they kept updating it. And I'm like, I don't know if they're going to make it. And then he made it back and had a killer freestyle until they shut him off randomly. And I'm like, I wonder what happened.
Headlight probably fell out.
No, from what I saw on a video on Instagram, there was a guy halfway into the floor recording with a camera.
Oh!
He was in between trucks recording. I saw it on Instagram, and then I was going to send it to you, but I lost it because whenever you accidentally refresh and it's gone forever.
Like he was down by where the trucks are parked?
Yes. So you know how in the corners there's a big tunnel you can walk through? He went through there and got right up to a truck.
This wasn't a crew guy. Like, this was a fan.
No, this is some guy with a camcorder. So he got the fire up, luckily, and managed to finish his freestyle. He was going to go for the backflip with a flat tire. They didn't let it happen, sadly. I was looking forward to it.
The best jelly, do you know who the man was that walked out on the track? The best jelly was crewing for that team this past weekend, so I wonder if he knows who it was.
He just says red polo shirt.
Red
Sounds like we're getting like a police. We're like getting a police report here on the Throttle Out
We're gonna
show.
find
polo shirt. He had a 5:00 shadow. He had just polished off a nice cold Dr. Pepper, threw it in the trash can before he walked off. He wears Ralph Polo cologne. That's all we know about him.
So other than that freestyle was nice. Adam had a good freestyle. Colt, is it Colt? No, it's Cole. Colt. I talked to Colt. That's why I thought it was Colt. Colt had a beautiful freestyle in Black Pearl. It is Cole, right?
Yes.
Cole Bernard,
Okay.
yes.
Cole Flower.
He had a beautiful freestyle. Well-deserved win for a freestyle. It was perfect. So then that was the whole show. It was really well done. Time was kept up the whole time. So I guess I should have talked about before the show. Pit Party. With Pit Party being back, it feels back to what it was 2 years ago.
Good.
Before COVID.
Thank God.
100% was like, this is worth my money at this point, That everyone was close to the drivers, getting an autograph, actually interacting with the people, with the drivers. It was good to see. Everyone was having fun. Kids were actually enjoying themselves. What else is there?
Okay, I want to know, how in the world did you go up to a suite?
The elevator was open. Just walked right in and go, sweets.
can't
wait,
be
how
just-
did my seat get there?
I was just saying, like, how in the world did you just walk in and it's like, okay, going to a show, fine, but Coop, we saw our story on Instagram. You literally went all the way up to the suites at Lucas Oil Stadium. Like, did you
at the very
break in?
top?
Yes!
No, the elevator was open. So I just walked in and it there. And luckily, somehow, my seats ended up in the suites for the show. So I got to sit down in the suites.
I saw
Luxury.
where you were sitting there with all your homeboys. You looked like y'all were having a great time.
Yeah, me and all my friends were having a lot of fun. Me and just me. That was it. I got to look at the Saigon truck.
Oh, okay. Let's talk
which
about that.
It's beautiful. I didn't believe you guys, honestly, when you said they built it in 3 weeks. Until I was there. I talked to some people. And it was done. And the truck looked amazing. It looked too good to be true, honestly. Yeah. But when you have a whole shop of 25 guys and you're a metal shop, anything's possible.
Well, it's possible. I think one thing, and this isn't a shame. I like that they built the truck in the middle of first quarter. That adds a lot to their reputation in the sport. Yes. There's some bad mamma jammas over there at the metal shop. But what they built, though, see, guys have have debuted monster trucks at the SEMA show in Las Vegas plenty of times in the past before. I think that's a piece that they could have especially done that with, but I also like the way that they brought it out in the middle of first quarter, just as to their reputation, how badass they are. They're able to piece together a truck. I'm sure they were stockpiling parts and pieces and nuts and bolts for, a few months, but to have it all together, it's like, all right, it's time for assembly. They put that whole thing together with no instructions, mind you. There's no instruction manual on how to build a monster truck.
Nobody needs that.
They knocked it out of the park. Coop, we talked about this on the show before. We talked about the knuckle tethers, the wheel tethers that they put on the truck. And you actually got to see this in person. This is your picture.
It looked fresh and clean and simple. I haven't
simple. Yeah.
Nobody's seen it taken apart yet, really, just because they're not over there watching. But I asked questions. I was like, has anyone is it easy to take apart? Is it easy in a thrash? And they don't know because they haven't gotten to that point yet, which is kind of cool, but also could be scary. But honestly, it looks fresh and pretty simple to where if it does come down to a thrash, I'd give it 5 minutes with 2 people and maybe a little over with 1, but who knows?
So if I'm looking at this wheel tether correctly, you're looking at the lower right-hand corner. You're going to see 4 bolts straight up and down on there, straight vertical on the bitch, okay? That's obviously separated. That's a 2-piece part, so there's really only 2 bolts per piece. Now, on a regular truck, like a regular Feld truck or most other trucks out there on the circuit, independent circuit, and their traditional style wheel tethers, you have those bolts are up on top of the wheel, top and bottom, and they are most of the time separated by spacers. The spacers are what really cause the havoc. They are the culprit for wasting the most time when you're in a thrash. They have completely eliminated that by obviously taking out spacers. They've adjusted it so you don't have to do all that. So my guess is they have it figured out, especially if I wish I could zoom in on this picture. I don't want to try to even attempt that and mess up the whole stream. They might have welded nuts on the back of those tethers, so it's just a straight bolt right into that bitch. And they did? Is that what they did?
Actually, from what I kind of remember, I think they did.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
That was the only thing I had a problem with. Because if you're in a thrash and you accidentally cross it...
Well, that's true, too.
You're going to have to punch it out.
But I will say, you and I both, though, if you're in thrash mode, cross threads are better than no threads. You can fix it during the week.
Keep hammering down till it's tight.
Hammer down.
So got to look at that. It was told they lowered the motor like 4 inches.
They lowered it even more than what most motors are right now. Holy.
From what I was told, it just looked fresh. From what it looked like, their shock towers were a little lower, and they actually squared it up perfectly. Because I have noticed before, because I asked about it. He was all over the place in racing. I'm going to be honest. But with this truck, it's pretty stable. It's flat. It's good. He has had the fastest time 2 weeks in a row with racing with his new chassis.
It looks fast. Not going to lie.
Don't quote me on this.
No, I'm not going to lie. It looks fast.
It just looks fresh. The 4-link bolts are Allen heads.
Okay, that I don't much understand. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I would be a freaking nervous wreck to strip those things out. I mean, you're going to get oil mixed with sand and dirt that's going to get in there. You're not going to be able to get your tool in there all the way. I would be a nervous wreck. I mean, I understand that those are supposed to be even more hardened of a bolt, if that's the correct terminology there.
Yeah,
so they should not be bending or breaking, I guess. So you shouldn't have to dick with all that. But I'd be a nervous wreck to be stripping those things out, Coop.
So I don't think you could unless you if you strip them, you're an idiot just for how big they are.
Okay.
But also I want to see the Allen tool.
Yeah.
For this, because you can't use a wrench, you have to use a ratchet the whole time. And I mean, it could be done honestly, because if one's tight in there, it could actually strip. So actually, I take back what I just said. But
it's just a big angled L. Allen that you see in the IKEA kits and shit. It's a giant one.
It's a custom made tool that the metal shop makes is what it is.
The only issue with that, because I was talking with a buddy about it. So they're they're great. Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad he put this up here.
Shop former Triple B Motorsports, everybody.
So With them being that, yes, they're tough, and they won't flex as much. But you almost want that flex, to be honest, because those bolts are going to shear.
Okay.
And then at that point, you got to just another issue with the shear. If I understand what shearing is, actually, because it's been a hot minute. I'd rather have a bolt break in half than the head just shear. Then you got to tap the whole thing out.
Okay. I see.
That's what shearing means.
See what you're putting down. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I've drank since then.
I see where you're getting at, Coop. I know exactly what you mean, but
Is that what shearing is?
Look up the definition on Urban Dictionary. See what it says.
I don't know.
No, don't go to Urban Dictionary. That's the last place that we need to go on this.
Don't ever
Share your
look up
screen and go to
Abraham
Urban
Lincoln.
Dictionary.
No.
Anyway, I'm getting messages on my phone right now. We're talking about coming to the end of the tour. Tours are concluding right now, both Monster Jam and Independent. Looks like the toughest monster truck tour is concluding next weekend, I believe, in Grand Forks, North Dakota, if I'm reading this message correctly. The points battle is really hot and heavy right now between Brandon Budd in the Bigfoot and Dalton Widener in the Jurassic Attack, and not too much below or further below him is his teammate, Zach Jensen and Kamikaze. So we keeping an eye on that. If you're anywhere in that area, you need to make your way up there. I actually think if it's next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend, I think, yeah, if that's right, I might be able to make it up to that because I'll be up there in Minnesota anyways. Maybe we'll just drive on up there if we got the weekend off and we'll go check out that show. That'd be pretty sweet.
There you go. Last thing.
Jeremy, go ahead,
Oh,
Coop.
sorry, Spence.
No, I was just saying Jeremy Parsons' comment, Triple B needs a metal shop chassis and good motor, but Twee's going to need some good brakes.
That's funny. But last thing about the indie show, I know I rambled a lot just because there was a lot, and I did leave out a good amount of stuff. Like, Scott Jordan is a GOAT with Feld marketing and all that, so hats off to them. Talked to him for a little bit. A lot of things planned. Looking forward to it. But he's just a goat. All right, that's one thing. But the other goats they have a whole herd of goats actually in the back.
They have a bunch,
and that is the crew. They killed it both nights, especially for getting that motor put in there. Just because if you think about it, yeah, there's most of the it was Jamie's crew, but most of the guys who helped have not been there more than 6 months. So, for them to be able to hop in there and help out and do their best, hats off to them for actually, they're now understanding what they're getting themselves into, which they probably have dealt with already because it's already, month 4 on first quarter. They kept the show going. Every truck made it back. They got them all good to make it to the next show. So, for all the new guys, I know I say they look like employees from Walmart that greet people. They're impressive. They're actually doing the job, so hats off to them. They kept the flow going, and the drivers did really good. The show was perfect, and if every show's like this for the next year, Feld's going somewhere at this point. I mean, they're already there, but they're getting better in my eyes. Now that they're back to normal, it's getting better.
Well, I mean, it sounds like those guys are stepping up where they need to be. They, you get your first show jitters out of the way. It may take 2 or 3, 4 or 5 shows sometimes, but it sounds like they're getting them out of the way and they're learning quick, which is great. That's what Feld's going to ask them to do.
Yes.
Coop, you had a lot of experience, good veteran guys step down within this past year, and there may be more stepping down before too much longer. And these guys are trying to pick up, put the parts and pieces back together where they need to be. And Monster Jam crew guys get the reputation of being parts replacers. Okay, so what? Trucks are making it back in time. They got the budget for it, so you can label them parts replacers all you want. They seem to be doing their job right now, so hats off to them. They're doing a damn good job. Got a comment down here I want to talk about. Austin, I heard you might be driving again soon. Y'all, I'm pumped. Yes, I am. This weekend, Grand Junction, Colorado. If you're anywhere in the area, the Gator Boss, or Boss Gator, yeah. Boss Gator is debuting. I'm very excited. I'm stoked to be there. Barely Tame's going to be there as well. Yes, I'm excited. This is most likely my last show right here in the studio here in Rockwall, Texas, and I'm most likely not going to be on Thursday's stream because I will be driving out that way. But y'all, and we're not done here, just so you know. We are not done with the Throttle Out show. It is not going anywhere. We're going to be here for many years to come. Coop's going to be here. Coop ain't going anywhere. Spence, he's not going anywhere. Harley, well, she'll be back, but she's not going anywhere.
I will be going somewhere to my new house.
Hey,
Boom.
new studio.
This will be all new behind me once again.
I'm still figuring my life out, so I'll I'll have a defense.
Bro, same.
I'm
trying to figure out if I need a wrestling ring in my backyard.
No, that needs to happen. One of us needs to build a wrestling ring. That's got to happen. And speaking of wrestling, I did see a little fact out here, and this gives me hope that maybe we could take monster trucks and produce it to a better level than what it's at right now. I saw a stat today. I don't know if y'all saw this or not, but the ratings of WrestleMania surpassed the damn Super Bowl. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that stat?
No.
WrestleMania had way more views and interactions than what the Super Bowl did this past year, which is insane because the Super Bowl always takes over. It's like the most watched event of like every year, basically. And WrestleMania beat that. Wrestling in general has been getting such a hard rap the past couple years, especially struggling with COVID, trying to make things work, do things differently, which everybody was, but you see somebody like WWE struggle and talks about they're probably going to be getting sold, and then they go out and produce ratings like that. Hey, that gives me hope. If wrestling can surpass football, maybe monster trucks can get up there somewhere. Maybe monster trucks can make a comeback and be the motorsport for the people, by the people, for the people.
Put us back on Fox Sports.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be sweet. Or really just honestly getting back on local channels. Like back in the day, I know everybody thought the show was cheesy and probably hurt monster trucks, but Monster Wars was on Fox. Like you could just watch it on your regular old rabbit ears antenna. Maybe we can get back to doing that. That'd be sweet.
Yo, remember when they were going to do the kind of like a Disney Plus, but for Monster Jam?
Yes.
Monster Jam Plus?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
That would
But now
have
it's
been.
on YouTube.
Well, they ran out of everything to post on YouTube, like they did every single year. I mean, the subscription.
I think COVID came into play a little bit on that project.
No, I feel like that came through because of COVID. Because when everyone's stuck at home, they want to watch monster trucks. Well,
Oh no, I was talking about
you got
Monster Jam Plus.
Oh no, I
actual
thought
app.
that. I thought the actual app kind of failed was because of like copyright infringement and shit like that, because there's trucks on there that obviously have some bad blood with Monster Jam, like, you know, Bigfoot probably has some stuff back in the late 90s and whatnot, because there's older stuff than what you see on the YouTube channel from the 2000s that they have footage of, but they can't use it because certain trucks and certain owners don't want their stuff being used by Felder Entertainment and Monster Jam, so...
A bunch
It
of
sucks,
salty
but
people.
well, it sucks, but that's why we have amazing people like Monster Truckinator TV that has all that footage, and his bias doesn't matter if it's independent or Monster Jam. It's still out there. You just gotta search for it.
It's in the dark web.
Oh, it's not the dark web. It's just if you want it bad enough, you just gotta find it.
4x4 dark web section.
Yeah, there you go. Now, this weekend in Grand Junction, Colorado, looks like the Groth twins will be out there as well. They're going to be running. I guess maybe still no official word on who's driving Barely Tame with me. I think Mike Riley's going to be out of the office, out of the shop this weekend. I mean, it's going to be Easter weekend coming up, so I think he's going to be out. Dustin Spallone, yes. I hope the Gator treats me well. And Trailer Trash RC, that's funny you say this. We actually had a conversation about, not you and I, but everybody on the team had a conversation about this show. I might be headed out that way. So that'd be exciting. See everybody out there. And I really appreciate, I love y'all. I'm excited. To finally get back in full time in the Sport Monster Truck. I'm going to be really honest with you. It's been really difficult for me to sleep this last week, knowing that all this is finally happening again. It's been a tough time trying to make sure, or just making sure this is what I want to do, that I really want to go back and want to do this full time again. And seeing this freaking picture right here, just full time.
That'll be you.
That's going to be it right there.
We need we still need an identity. We still need a alter ego.
What'd you call
Gator
me?
King.
Gator Dan
So-
or something?
No, it was my wife came up with it. It was Death Roll Dan, the Gator Man. That's what she came up with. Because you know when Gator grabs its prey, it like bites on and does this death roll to take its prey out.
I mean,
So she said
is Tim Jones gonna try and sue me whenever I'm standing on the tire of this thing and I'm doing this in intros when they call me out? Is he gonna be really pissed off at me?
No, just go
No,
give
I
them
don't
people's
think so.
elbow.
No, but honestly, 2 Gators at a show, dude. I would love to see Tailgater and Gator Boss at the same show. I will say, though, I don't think you're going to freestyle as well as Tim Jones, though. So
I debate that.
You're not there yet.
Tweet's got it. If you, do you get an actual seat this time?
So the word on the street is this seat should fit me
No.
much better than what Barely Tame fits me. I
get
have
milk
my brother, who is essentially same size, same pound for pound as myself over here. And the seat fit him really well, much better than Barely Tame. So hopefully fits me a lot better.
Cameron or Logan?
Yeah, Cameron.
Okay.
So there you go. It's all depending on the seat. And you're going to go out there and do a stoppie and then a backflip. And you're going to watch you tear down.
You know, we do need somebody to stream your freestyle and everything. So we need a camera guy out there.
Well, somebody's supposed to be coming out with us to the show, and I don't know who that is. I got put in a group message with everybody at Triple B, and somebody's saying that they're going to come out and crew, but I don't know who that is. It's a unknown number to me, so we'll see who it is. Maybe I can talk them into crewing for us, for videoing for us. Who are going to be driving. But y'all, we are well past the hour mark, and we still got a lot of people watching. I want to thank y'all for watching Coop. We don't have enough likes on the video. What's up with that, Coop?
Yeah, just before we end it, I want all 65 of you to like the video! Ah! There you go.
Huge shout out to High Octane Coffee. Thank you so much for the wonderful beverages that you have blessed us with. Joe, hope y'all get back on your feet soon. You're back out there to kicking some ass, taking some names. I know that's going to be happening regardless of what's going on. And go to our website, show us some love. And before I forget, I think it's Kyle C. Salk and Josh Eccles sent y'all some stuff today. I appreciate y'all for supporting us over here at the Throttle Out Show. And for everybody watching tonight, there we go. There's a nice boom of likes right there. Thanks for tuning in. I hope y'all have a wonderful Taco Tuesday, a Wheels Up Wednesday, Thirsty Thursdays, some Feel Good Fridays, and we'll see you in Grand Junction, Colorado. The Boss Gators return. Remember, when in doubt, throttle out. Peace out, y'all. Good night.